Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. I hope this finds you well. Today, we're going to look at a few things. We're going to do a bit of a market update. We're going to look at Caspa price action. We're going to look at the fractals again. We're going to look at Bitcoin, and then we're going to look at the S&P 500, the US stock market. And I am still in Puerto Rico. I don't have my regular audio set up, so I apologize for any background noise that you might hear. The recording I'm doing is not being done on any particularly good microphone. So that said, we can take a look at Caspa quickly. And one thing to notice is that we were following this ascending channel very cleanly for quite a while. And occasional dips below the ascending or the lower trend line of this ascending channel, like right here, for example. And currently we are also breaking below, similarly to here. And so one thing to notice is you want to look at indicators that give some clarity regardless of that trend line, because trading is not all about one particular pattern or one particular indicator, right? So you have to have enough tools in your tool belt to assess what might be the reason behind some of the moves in price. So one thing you'll notice here, for example, is that Caspa bounced off the 20 and 21 week SMA and EMA, same as here. It never got down to the lower trend line here, for example. And when it came down here, it got to the lower trend line. But right here, it bounced off the moving averages. And right here, it never actually got down to these moving averages. So it also doesn't always get down there. So one thing to notice now at the current day is you may hear roosters in the background, by the way. We have some neighbors, I guess, with some roosters. They crow at midnight, by the way. It's very strange. Although it is morning now, I'm having coffee. So looking closer at this, you can see that we are getting very, very close to these moving averages. And, as I showed in the past, there are times where those moving averages are where price bottoms, like this, for example. And this is where I bought also pretty heavily. I bought down here. I also bought in here because I knew that there was no guarantee that price was going to come down below here. So this is something that I mentioned on Twitter during that time that I bought after the fact, of course. So another thing to look at is that and consider is that because Caspa, the market cap is increasing, this more or less straight lined ascending channel, this one you see with the purple lines here, it's possible that this doesn't exactly continue like perfectly, like it did many times over the course of its life so far. And perhaps we have a bit of a regression channel instead of an ascending channel going forward, which means that, as you can see, this orangish line here, curved line on the top and the bottom, the market cap now is higher, which means the growth, the money that it takes to push the price up, requires more money as the market cap gets bigger. So the swings to the upside may not come quite as easy, may not be quite as volatile. Just like Bitcoin is one of the least volatile assets, even though many people will, who don't trade and don't know crypto will say, Bitcoin, doesn't it just go up and down like crazy? Well, Bitcoin's the least risky, and that's why it's a good one to buy if you don't know what you're doing. And it's also nice to trade because you can pretty much assume that it's not going to have a massive swing like some, low cap coins or whatever. And Caspa's now maybe, I don't know what, rank 40 something, market cap, around 2 billion, I believe. So it's getting up there. It's getting up there. And the amount of money it's going to take to push it up here is going to be more, right? So, and then at $4, around $4, it's about a Cardano all-time high sized market cap around 90 billion US dollars, right? So that's a lot of money it takes, and it may take longer to get up there, and it depends on where Bitcoin is at the time. And if we look at the fractals, again, as I mentioned in the last video, it's important to consider where Bitcoin was in here when Ethereum and Cardano took off. Bitcoin was already setting highs. It was above 40,000, right? So here for Caspa, Bitcoin is below its all-time high. It is not breaking out. So it makes sense that Caspa is not making massive moves yet from this accumulation range necessarily. What it's doing is really just coming back in, like I showed on the other chart, and potentially touching off of these moving averages, which tend to, in a bull market, in a bull trend, they tend to hold. They basically tell you that price is at a really good value, that there's much lower risk in making an entry there. So dollar cost averaging heavier potentially when price gets down to these moving averages is going to lower someone's risk potentially, because you can see the trend, right? So as we get down here, it's almost like a touch off, you tag it and then you go up again. So that might be what happens right here. And a long base like this, big accumulation range, is generally bullish. I think it's wise to reverse this psychology in your head that something like this is bullish. That's not. This is bearish, right? When you have straight up price action like that, you should be thinking bearish, because that's when you want to take, scale out, take profit, exit the market, and wait for the eventual nuke, So like when you have Bitcoin breaking out to new all-time highs, in your head, you want to think bearish. It's not bullish. Everyone on Twitter is going to be like, to the moon, we're going to 100K up in here when it maxed out at 70K. And you want to be thinking, no, that's bearish. So yeah, and then when price is down, you want to be thinking bullish, right? You want to be thinking bullish. So, by the way, if you want to be part of a community, I have a Discord community, Ski Bum Trading. I'll drop the link down below in the info section of YouTube, and it's also on my Twitter account in the in my bio. And the Patreon membership provides the invite link to the Discord server, Ski Bum Trading Discord and Patreon. So all those links will be down below. You can check them out if you want to join. And we talk about technical analysis, and I can help people with their TA and give feedback and all that stuff. So so one thing to notice here too, like the 618 Fibonacci level, right? This is where we are right now. We're kind of coming down. We could potentially come down, and we could get some good value prices again, assuming that we are in fact in a longer term sustained bull trend. I think for me, dips are for buying. I bought a lot down here, but if the price is right, I will buy more. And, I'm patient. I don't buy when things are high. I consider them a little, I consider them a little bit high right now, even though we are, it's funny because a little fear is coming back into the market in here as it's pulling back. But you can see if we come down here, we dip below these moving averages. I'm also keeping an eye on the Fibonacci levels, and those add confluence to where I want to buy. And then once we get some of these prices, I may buy some more. So I may start to scale into the market again, and then wait for Bitcoin to make new highs, which I think could happen this year. It could happen this year, right? I mean, everyone's talking about the halving, the Bitcoin halving, which may or may not be too obvious. It seems like it's repeated throughout Bitcoin's history that Bitcoin tends to pump, go into a bull market after that. So if the trend is the same, it'll happen. Trend doesn't always need to be the same. So it's important to keep that in mind. And always never overinvest, et cetera, et cetera. So then the S&P 500, we have a big cup and handle. This was mentioned on my Twitter account many times. People didn't believe right down here. Some people didn't think this was bullish, but it turned out it was. So boom, we're off to the races. So let's see how high it goes. So that's a quick update. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And otherwise, I hope you enjoy your day.